Hello and welcome to Module 2. This is Susan Knowles. This module talks about the role of mentoring. Mentoring is such a critical element of the preparation course that I thought that it needed to go right near the beginning of the course. The goal for this module is to assist both the novice clinical instructor and the seasoned clinical instructor with the purpose and the process of forming a mentoring relationship. By the time we finish this module, we will have had the opportunity to discuss the purpose as well as the responsibilities in the mentoring relationship for both you, the novice faculty, and the more seasoned faculty or more experienced faculty. And hopefully by now you will have set up your regular mentoring time. And if not, by the end of this module, you'll do that. As with each module, I want to point out the National League for Nursing core competencies for faculty that I found to be the most appropriate. And I think that is core competency number 1, number 2, and number 6. And in core competency number 1, focusing most specifically on developing collegial working relationships and serving as a role model. And number 2, and among other things, focusing on the socialization to the role. And of course, in NLN competency number 6, mentors and supports faculty colleagues, of course, is specific to this particular module. So just like the other modules, the questions that I'd like you to think about at the conclusion of this module are: how do you see the mentoring relationship working for you? What are your plans to ensure the relationship is successful? And then discuss your previous experiences with mentoring, with a mentoring relationship with your mentor. And again, you can find those questions in your logbook. And if you want to fill them out there to keep them all organized, that would be great. And if you've thought of some things that you really want to do or you will do, go ahead and write those down in your I will logbook as well. Thank you very much. The references will follow, and as well as the evaluation. So please complete that. Give me your comments or your concerns, if you will. And I look forward to talking with you in the next module. The agenda for this module is the same as the previous module, and in a moment I'll talk about the 2 articles that I have selected for you to read to be prepared and have a better background about mentoring in nursing education. The reading assignments for this module are listed here on the slide. They are faculty mentoring in nursing, and then the second article is mentoring a boon to nurses. Both of these you can go directly out using the URL on the slide, or you can go to the pane where it gives you the extra resources and you can click on that and download the article directly from there. The Kaptuson and Murphy article give a very good background on why mentoring is just so important for novice nursing faculty and their retention in our faculty teaching profession. Just real briefly, the National League for Nursing put out a position statement in 2006, and in part it reads that they advocate the use of mentoring as a primary strategy to establish healthful work environments and facilitate the ongoing career development of nurse faculty. And I think that's all that I need to read out of that to tell you just how strongly the National League for Nursing believes in mentoring. As the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, in the news article that I mentioned to you, Mentoring a Boon to Nurses, etc., it points out that nurses have been taking novices under their wings since Florence Nightingale's time. Mentoring is not new. Everyone agrees on that. However, by all accounts, it seems to be the key that makes the difference between staying and leaving when it comes to nursing faculty. Kaptusen and Murphy, in their article, define mentoring similar to everyone else, in that it's a developmental relationship between a more experienced individual and a less experienced individual. The relationship is built upon the ideas of collaboration and partnership. The more experienced individual provides the guidance, and the less experienced individual learns and grows into a successful and productive member of an organization, according to their definition. And I think this sums it up. When you look up the word mentor, you find words like learn and lead, support, help, assistance, guidance, learning together, one-on-one relationship, advancement, development, sharing, personal, guide, coach. So it doesn't really matter what word we use. We can use coach or guide or mentor. A person that generously imparts their wisdom to help another person. And it's been said that a true mentor is invested in your success and uses his or her professional experience to guide you over the long term. Mentoring is an ongoing collaborative relationship between two individuals. And I think that's really important to wrap our heads around. The gift of time, according to Kaptusen and Murphy, is what mentoring is all about. The quality of effective mentors are those faculty who are effective communicators. They're accessible and willing to maintain a friendly, regular contact and demonstrate an empathetic and caring attitude, and they're good role models. But they don't necessarily need to be the most experienced. However, I believe that the mentor that works best is one that is experienced in the area in which you will be teaching students, and they can be the most impactful, but they aren't the only one who can be your mentor. Chung and Kowalski created a conceptual model of what mentoring would look like in a diagram, noting the effect that mentoring has on job satisfaction, job stress, and empowerment in the job. Effective mentoring programs can assist with socialization of new faculty. It can raise overall morale and job satisfaction. It can accelerate promotion and tenure and improve the quality of education offered to the student population. And I think that's the key right there. Increasing the quality of education to the student. And that's according, again, to Kaptusen and Murphy's article. Faculty mentoring may be able to overcome some of those obstacles like low salary and a heavy workload that detours nurses from choosing and, most importantly, remaining in academic positions. And as I've alluded to, the mentoring relationship provides for that socialization to the role and the culture of academia. That's what so many of the articles talk about, that without that mentoring relationship, it's really hard to form those bonds with the full-time faculty when you're in a part-time position. So often as a part-time person, I know myself, I always felt like I was alone. And this is supported by the literature, that we kind of feel like we're lone rangers out there. And oftentimes this actually sets up a condition where people are just doing their own thing. And that's really can be detrimental to the students, because it's so important that their education remain on a certain sequence and as well as stay within their scope of practice. Mentorship can increase, as I mentioned before, job satisfaction. And this relationship and the discussion should continue regularly throughout the course, through the first rotation, and should give opportunities for both formal and informal feedback, and most importantly, opportunities for just-in-time contact. So if you find yourself with a situation or a problem and you're not quite sure how to deal with it, your mentor is a great asset to you in those times. And mentoring is not just about the mentee. It's not really surprising that mentors have reported that they have gained as much, learned as much, and changed as much as those that they were assigned to mentor. So what are you supposed to do? Well, in the preparation course, the mentor and the mentee will arrange a time to meet each week for approximately 1 hour. And during that hour, they will discuss, or you will discuss, the module, whichever module you've been currently working on. And you will cover those reflection questions. The session can take place face-to-face. It can take place face-to-face over the internet through a source like Zoom, Skype, or FaceTime, or as a last resort, you can have a discussion over the telephone. But I strongly encourage the mentoring pairs to meet in a face-to-face fashion, because face-to-face seems to have so much more impact. And I have found that face-to-face over the internet can be just as effective as meeting in person. And when you are working another position and you get home late, the full-time faculty or your mentor has been working all day as well. This way you can meet in the evening without leaving your home if you use the internet as your method of meeting face-to-face. The mentor should review each module and then consider their own answers to the discussion questions and perhaps pose their own questions to their mentee. The mentee will write the answers to their reflection questions after completing each module and then be prepared to discuss their thoughts with the mentor. The mentor will pose additional questions or possible scenarios for their mentees to consider, not just questions but scenarios. The mentor should consider using some of the same teaching strategies utilized with students, because through these methods you're actually role modeling teaching strategies for the novice faculty. Most of all, the mentor needs to keep the mentee in the communication loop to ensure socialization to the role. You know, as a more experienced faculty or perhaps a full-time faculty, if you know that there have been changes to the curriculum or you know what's currently being taught in the classroom, these are things that you can share with the mentee to help them work with students in the clinical area. Once you've had an opportunity to speak with your mentor, reflect upon the material in this module, please complete the evaluation and give any feedback that you think can be helpful to improve the module. Thank you. The references for this module you'll find on this slide and the following slide.